I am here. Hi, and welcome. I was just trying to navigate the technology here. I'm getting better at this. Welcome to Mama Power, Unlock Your Mama Power. I'm Laura Topper, and so pleased to be here with you today on this Friday morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm here in the UK, and a big heartfelt radiance for you wherever you are. If you're tuning in Mountain Time in Colorado, I know it's earlier in the morning for you. Here it's 3:30 in the day. The most important thing, though, is that we're here and on New Thought Media Network, this amazing creative platform where we show up and share and shine our light for you so that you can be inspired and inspire us back. So messages are always welcome, and questions that I can cover here are always welcome, because week by week we go through, you know, what it is to really use our mama power, unlock it, and to come from that divine feminine, the place where we're not always so used to, you know, leading our lives from, that heart-led place, because we are too busy trying to do and to achieve and to make things happen and all of the things that really sap us, rather than being in the flow and being part of and knowing that we're already in the flow. We don't need to really do anything other than be who we are and emanate from that place of love, from this heart-centered place of love. And this is what Mama Power is all about. So whether you identify as a woman or not, it's fine. Welcome here. This is June. Really excited to let you know. Talking about ourselves, love ourselves, and what it means. We use this term so infrequently. Let's not love ourselves. We need to love ourselves. It's all and we need to love ourselves. We thought about that in our hearts, what it truly means. And for me, there are a few meanings. This really is our full spectrum. That means, you know, let's do this in this within inside. It's really starting from going back and back and back into that place of where we can start from, almost like the beginning, you know, our thoughts, our feelings, our intentions, how we choose to show up for ourselves, what we say to ourselves, how wonderful we are to ourselves in our minds with our intentions and what we're saying. I mean, it can be so easy to slip into or continue with that habit of beating ourselves up, not being proactive with how we're talking to ourselves silently. For me, this is where it really begins. You know, full spectrum self-love is having that conversation with ourselves and being honest with ourselves about how we talk to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and then changing that, transforming that. And we know we can do this in meditation, we can do this in prayer, we can do this through visioning, through visualization. We can use all of the beautiful practices that we have to really ground in and go to a place where we know that we are love and that we are loved, regardless of what we may choose to think and say about ourselves. We are loved and we are love, and that is it, each and every one of us. And that's what we're celebrating here right now, this diversity of who we each are, as you know, the divine expressing through us in as our originality. And then the inclusivity of welcoming each of us right now as who we are, for who we are. And that begins with welcoming ourselves for who we are. This is where it begins for me, full spectrum self-love. Let's get our thinking and our feelings and our intentions and our attitude about ourselves and who we are, knowing who we are, beyond the experience that we're experiencing, or the situation, or the disappointment in our lives if things aren't going as we think they should be going. Beyond all of that, there is something greater. And I want you to come with me and get on this train. And this is the train that New Thought Media Network are. You're on board here with knowing this. And this means really doing this. Not just talking about it and saying, oh, yes, I love myself, but actually doing the work so that we really get it in our hearts and we know it and we know it and we know it. And then that is the foundation of how we show up for ourselves on a daily, momentary, beyond daily, momentary basis. Self-love, full spectrum, checking our beliefs on who we are and who we think we should be and we shouldn't be, and who we think they think we should be. I mean, there's all these dimensions and conversations going on, and a lot of them are subconscious. We're not even aware of them, and they're happening. And so we are being called to show up with that knowing in our hearts, and we're reprogramming, we're retelling the story. And this is when I work with people one-on-one or in my groups, we hash out this story and we get to the truth of it. And a lot of those beliefs that we've carried for so many years, oftentimes we carry them unknowingly. We're literally in this habitual pattern of continuing, because life isn't giving us any reason to kind of stop. And then what happens is we get the reason to stop because something drastic happens that we think is drastic, or there's big challenges and changes that happen. And then for those of us that are sensitive to that, we stop and we have a deeper look. We do a spiritual analysis of what's happening in our lives, and we take action by taking that step back and looking at our lives and saying, where haven't I loved myself? Where haven't I stood up for me? Where haven't I been the love that full spectrum love for myself that I can be? And then we make those changes. And this is the beauty of this work, because we know that in every moment there is this opportunity to make that transformation from within first. And then we go to the next layer of what actions. Nourish myself. My body. And make these choices around health. And then how many exercise am I exercising? To in ourselves. And it's almost as if we're being called with full spectrum self-love to look at from that first perspective of our thoughts and our thinking and how that radiates out in every way, taking responsibility for our lives, full responsibility. It's not always easy, and yet it is simple when we say yes, when we make that decision and we say yes in the moment. And often, we are pulled into a yes. We may go, kicking and screaming, and yet then something will happen and like, oh, okay, now I'm going to listen. Now I'm going to make a decision to listen, because if I don't, no one's going to do it for me. So we take responsibility, full on responsibility. This is unlocking our mama power. Woo! Inside out, inside out. And we also are called to kind of really settle in and nestle in that divine feminine energy, where we are not trying to make things happen. We're allowing. It's a whole different intention, a whole different understanding of our behavior. We're allowing rather than trying to make it happen. And from there, we are relaxed and at peace with ourselves, and we draw into us in our life the most incredible experiences where it's not because we've had to manipulate life. So yes, we believe in this this teaching of Ernest Holmes. We believe, that we take responsibility fully for our thoughts and our feelings and our intentions and our actions and all of it. And that also allows us to realize how much we're trying to make something happen in the moment, rather than having this knowing of full spectrum self-love. And in that, there is an immense understanding that we are loved, and so we're not having to force it, because it's coming through us. Whole different thing. And that means we can relax within ourselves, knowing this, knowing we're safe, knowing that we are held, knowing that we are nourished. And then we can be that in life too. We can be the safety for ourselves, the nourishment for ourselves, the safety net for ourselves when it looks like things or feels like everything's going a little bit wonky. And it isn't. It simply is an experience. And that's where we want to get to, understanding this beautiful experience and how we can navigate this with our heart. With our heart. So we know, if you know heart math, there this beautiful body of work that is being done right now, and it's very powerful. And you can look up the website, and there they talk about, and they've done a lot of scientific research on this, about how the heart is biofeedback for the brain. And so it's not necessarily that we're sending messages through neurotransmitters to the heart to love. It's actually the other way around. So when we're feeling, this is about feeling, when we're feeling it, then those messages are being sent back to the brain, and then this is what our perception is of life and what our experience is. So we tune into the resonance and the residence of our hearts, and we can do this by simply placing our hands here on our spiritual heart and feeling our heart, letting our heart know that it is being held and supported. And we can do this and keep our hands here and take a couple of breaths slowly in and slowly out. And then again, breathing in slowly and out slowly. And tell yourself, I love myself. I am loved. And if this is difficult to say right now, then I'm willing to love myself. This is the Louise Hay part of me coming out here. I am willing to take that step to loving me fully right now. And I thought this was really interesting because this is basically telling us how to make tea. It's a cup of tea, and there's the kettle, boil the water. Then there's a clock and it says brew for 3 to 5 minutes. And then there's a little cup and it says enjoy. And as I read that, I thought, wow, this is really symbolic for today, for now, of this full spectrum self-love. You know, we're boiling the water here. We are coming into that place and that feeling and that knowing that we are loved. And that's bubbling away inside of us, within us, in our hearts. And this is the feeling, the resonance that we are looking to stay with all day. This is an excitement, it's a conviction and a power and a strength and a knowing, a deep knowing within us that we are loved. And so we're boiling that water within us, you know, this is a symbolism here. Brew for 3 to 5 minutes. Close our eyes. Do this breath work with our hands on our heart here and brew, literally. Stay in this knowing and actually just really brew your own cup of tea of full spectrum self-love. Brew it for 3 to 5 minutes. And then our cup is filled. Look at that, the perfect cup of tea. Then our cup is filled with a knowing of love. And that's what we continue with for the rest of the day or evening or life. We come back to this the whole time. The perfect cup of love, not the perfect cup of tea, the perfect cup of love. Boiling the water, bubbling up that feeling, that knowing, that deep knowing, deep within. Brewing for 3 to 5 minutes with the breathwork exercise that I've just gone through. And then our cup is filled and flowing over. Overflowing. That's the perfect cuppa. Perfect cup of love here in the UK. So I have another piece here that I wanted to bring. If any of you have read this, if you have, great. If you haven't, great. And it's an opportunity for you to find this book called The Eye of the Storm by Gary Simmons. Amazing, amazing book. It's one of those books that you can pick up on any page and there will be a teaching in there. There will be a learning moment, a learning opportunity. So I did that just before. I thought, well, I'm just going to kind of open this up anywhere. I love doing that. And I've come and landed in the chapter where page 37, Living from Lack. Okay, and this is what I would like to read. There is living in the illusion of lack also compels us to avoid conflict. When we don't feel okay about ourselves, we feel inferior. When deep down inside we feel flawed, we're actually spiritually impoverished. We move away from challenges instead of embracing them. It is this sense of lack, of not having, that destroys us. This inadequacy directs our intention outward and draws us to an addictive, codependent, and driven lifestyle. There's never enough time, energy, money, resources, or creativity in the presence of the black hole of inner being. When we, at the core of our being, feel we are not enough, nothing outside of us can complete or fulfill us. It is this missing sense of spiritual self, the wholeness we seek, that we must come to know as our most valuable possession. And this is perfect for now, for right now, where I am here, where we are. That when we're choosing to live from the illusion of lack, what we're doing is we're continually reinforcing to ourselves that there is not enough and that we are not enough. And I think these are two of the most common beliefs that are rooted and grounded in mass consciousness ancestrally. You know, these beliefs have come through for thousands and millions and thousands of years, and we choose to hold on to them until we choose to dissolve them. And this is not a one-stop shop. We are continually being reminded that we are storing these beliefs and that we have the opportunity to know who we are as love. From self-love. I'm here every Tuesday and Friday at this time. Yes, great. Mum, I'm not on the network. And I just want to remind us that this love that I'm talking about is not conditioned or conditional, and it is non-judgmental. So we have absolute infinite possibilities. We have the possibilities to tap into it and to realize constantly who we are as love, 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 love. When we're beaming and radiating that from our hearts, from that knowing of truth, no one can miss that. You know, that's radiating out. Even if we don't see anybody in the day, it will illuminate in consciousness and in the flow of energy, as an energetic flow. So what is we have a few minutes, and if you're still watching, you can stay with me here, because we had Pride in Brighton in 2018, and I loved it. And I went down to Pride and I took lots of pictures and videos. And then I went home and I put them to my song, I Love Me. And it's great. This is the last Pride that happened in Brighton before the virus came. So I'm going to play this now because this is Juneteenth and we're celebrating our uniqueness, our unique divine expression of who we are as love. We're celebrating this every single moment, not just because it's Juneteenth. We're celebrating this continually. And I thought this would really, really be great to play for you right now. Here we go. Enjoy. we got a little bit of technical, and it was just a glimmer really of what I did and how I was celebrating the amazing creativity that was just flowing past me as I was standing there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, just this incredible overflow of amazing creativity. And I was just completely like, oh my gosh. So I took so much footage on my phone. And this is what we're here to do, isn't it? Take this footage on our phone within, downloading the knowing of love and being that love for ourselves. Stepping up, shining out in full spectrum self-love. So we're going to, before we go, we're going to practice that meditation one more time. If you're here with me and you feel connected with this, and this is where you are right now, so take your hands, just one over the other, bring them to your heart space, just centered slightly from your physical heart. And close your eyes if you can. And I'm inviting us to really come into that knowing of love that is here, always, forever. It is me, it is you. And breathing love in through feeling the picture of the nurturing. One full breath in slowly. And breathe out slowly. More time. Breathe in slowly. And breathing out slowly as you visualize this light of your heart, illuminating and radiating and expanding out from your heart into the infinite. It's not everything from your heart outwards as a sphere, full spectrum. This is self-love. This is knowing yourself as love. And this, as you open your eyes, I invite you to stay with this knowing today, tomorrow, the next day. And if you find yourself veering away from this and into the other, which is the illusion of it all, really, come back, take a breath, tune in, place your hands on your heart, do this breath work, see this radiance of light coming out from your heart and expanding and illuminating, and then go again. So we want to be in this perpetual kind of new loop of a new programming, heart programming. That's what we're doing with full spectrum self-love. I honor you and I see you and I know you and I hear you and I know the light that you are and the love that you are. And keep doing this, keep going with this work, because it is working, even if you may think in your mind that it isn't. It is working, and that's why you're here and showing up and as the glorious you that you are. Love and blessings to you. If you have a question, please put it in there. New Thought Media Network is happening constantly every day throughout the day with so many beautiful broadcasts and visionaries and teachers who show up to shine and share with you. So if this moves you and you feel to leave your love offering and to circulate consciously with finance, then please do so. The link is below underneath here. Until next time, next Tuesday, well, actually Monday, I'll be back with the Cosmic Prayer. Next Tuesday with Unlock Your Mama Power. So have an amazing, amazing day, wherever you are, whoever you are. Love and light and full spectrum self-love. Bye for now.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.